you feel like validated, or was it weird for you?
Of course I felt validated.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I would not feel validated.
Hey, I'm your host Alexis.
And I'm your co-host True.
Sit back and relax because you're
in good company.
So happy Women's History Month.
Happy Women's History Month.
Yes, this is kind of an episode, I don't even want to, is it dedicated to women? Sort of. I guess we're getting
it's a woman-based, woman experience episode.
It definitely is.
And it's just a perfect time to, record and release it.
I agree, just to really delve into this topic. So you might be wondering, what are y'all talking about? And I'm going to let you know. Today we are going to be talking about a topic that plagues many women. I know it does. And it's mainly how Western beauty is a facade. So the first thing I want to say is the whole reason I was like, we have to do an episode on this was because Jubilee posted a video on March 1st.
Yes, literally.
This was
first day of Women's History
literally, this
Month.
was crazy. And the comments are so divided. Some of you may have seen it. Some of you may have not. But it was, how does body image affect these 100 women? Y'all, they had 100 women come. They had them rank their, like, if they felt they were the ideal body type based on those who voted, right?
So they had two different ranking systems. An online ranking system with like actual random people on the internet rank them, and then they had these 100 women in the room rank themselves amongst their peers, and they all kind of just exited
accordingly or left. And it was really wild because in the video they're like, we sit in photos, like I think they had in bikini photos, and that's how they did it, and that's how they ranked it.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure in the video, I watched this video like when it dropped, so I could be getting some things wrong, but what I thought was so interesting was who ended up winning. And it was...
Really? You thought it was interesting?
Well, no, I thought
it was predictable.
No, I thought it was expected, but I thought it was interesting in the context of how the beauty standard has changed. So it ended up being a woman. She's African. And y'all, she had the... kind of like the hourglass body, so like the bigger bum, the bigger boobs. I had a feeling she was gonna win. It almost went to this other girl, or she was the first one who got voted, and she wasn't the one, and I didn't think she was gonna be, because I hate to say it, as soon as I was like, her boobs aren't as big, like it's not gonna be her, like that's what literally,
just like objectively looking at things.
No, I was thinking of it through like a male's perspective.
Yeah, because
that's what it, like, because that, to me, I'm like, whatever, but I was thinking it like 100% a male perspective. I'm like, yeah, so it's not equal enough for them. And I hate to say it, I was right, but I feel like it's kind of predictable. And I just want to say it was interesting because I was looking at the video and the comments. As I said, I'm going to read some of the people's thoughts because a lot of people did not like this. One person said, something about this feels so wrong, not going to lie. Another person said, I cannot comprehend why these women would submit themselves to this, which I kind of get. I would never do that. I would walk out of there feeling awful no matter my ranking, because I think being put on a pedestal, it's like, this pedestal's not going to last forever. Eventually I'm not going to be the standard, which is weird to think about. But also because minorities usually aren't the standard of beauty. Features of theirs are the standard of beauty, which is so interesting how things have changed. But someone else said, I hope that woman that was ranked 100 wasn't shown her ranking, and I think that is so real. Can you imagine that?
That would genuinely wreck your mental health.
Truly.
If you had low self-esteem already.
And a lot of people saying they felt the video didn't, I guess, comment on beauty standards, but more just added to them. And I was kind of the mind that these women did come here on their own free will, hopefully. Everyone seemed to be there on their own free will. And I think it was more commentary on society because people voted. People voted on their body types. I don't know. It was messed up either way, but it was also really interesting. I said if they did a video like this 20 years ago, it definitely wouldn't have been like someone who was black. It probably would have been like a very skinny,
like Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm thinking if they do this 10 years from now, how's it going to change? If they were to continue this, almost like a social experiment.
Right, because if anybody's noticed, like, beauty standards are shifting rapidly
all the time.
Especially, like, before it was shifting, but even now with more social media trends, random features, random body parts, there are different things that are trending every month, and it's hard to keep up with being beautiful online.
Oh, 100%. And I think it's less of a problem in person because people usually don't hold you to those standards. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, because it does happen. Sometimes you feel inadequate, or I really think a lot of times it's men who make comments. I'm not saying women aren't capable of making you feel bad about your body. That's totally real. But I really feel like it's men who I don't know. I feel like they hyperfixate more, because like women understand like women's bodies. So they're like, I don't care how you look like that. But moving on.
Yeah. So since we're talking about like whole self-image and everything, I wanted to ask you, like, what was your first experience with your self-image? When did you first perceive yourself, and like what prompted your thoughts?
Oh, okay. My first perception of, I think, not even myself, but my body was when I was in kindergarten. And Truk, I've told this to you. I started noticing, because I lived in California, so it was majority white kids in my class and like Hispanic kids, because I went to like a Spanish immersion school. And I felt my legs were way bigger than my peers, not knowing that Black women tend to have like just bigger thighs. It's not a big deal, they just do. But I didn't see anybody with thighs that were bigger. Mind you, I didn't have huge thighs, but in my head they were huge, and I hated them. And I was 5, and I'm like, this is crazy. And it kind of followed me. Now I'm perfectly fine with how my body looks, but I remember that was something that I feel like it was in the back of my mind for way longer than it should have been, and it started way too young. Because why in my mind did I feel they were too big? What about, like, who told me? Like, who
asked you that question for you to be thinking about it?
I don't even know. I don't know. Or because I think it was more of me just noticing other people's bodies and comparing that I don't look like that, so maybe something's wrong with me. I think that's where it came from, like, truly. Because I don't even feel like people made comments. If they did, I forgot the comments.
Mike, you were in kindergarten.
No, literally, crazy. Like kindergarten. Like, that is so wild to me. But that's like the main thing I remember. What about you, Truk?
So I never had like major issues about my body. It was more my face. So the earliest that I remember, because I can't remember all the way until kindergarten like you, but middle school was when you start feeling self-conscious about everything and whatnot. And I was in the YouTube space at that time as well. Like, oh my gosh, I was a YouTuber. But there were some girls online who were talking about, they were very forward about their insecurities, and they're like, oh my goodness, my nose is so like this, my eyes are so this, my lips are so this. And in middle school, running with these girls their age as well, I'm like, oh, is there something that's supposed to be wrong with my face because they're commenting on their face? And I remember making this like YouTube video, face reveal, and then saying, sorry to disappoint you guys, my face is not that pretty. And that's what I put on the internet at the ripe age of like 12, 13. And that was like earliest perception.
Wow. And I didn't know middle school Truk, and I haven't seen photos, but I seen you as early as high school, and it's really mind-boggling because you're very pretty, and you've been very pretty. I remember when I first met Truk, I remember thinking she's super pretty. If y'all know her Instagram. And I was, at one time I was literally looking through your photos because I was making some type of video. I don't remember. I feel like I used to be like making edits. I used to like take her photos on CapCut. But anyway, and I was just looking, I was like, man, Truk is like really just is very pretty.
Thank you.
So it's so mind-boggling because I remember at a point I didn't think I was attractive either. But it was young, and I really feel like part of it had to do with the fact that I just wasn't around a lot of Black people, so Black features weren't around me. So when I was comparing myself to people who had white features because they were white, I was like, I don't look like that, and I feel like there's something wrong with me for not looking like that. Like, I used to want straight hair so bad. Y'all, I used to be a little afraid of my hair because I felt like I couldn't make it look as cute as girls when their hair was straight. Like, when my hair was straight, I was like, oh my goodness, I feel prettier this way. And I'm like, that's such a bad mindset to have. And I swear all I had to do was get a haircut, and I said, oh, my hair actually isn't that bad to do. It's actually super cute.
Yeah.
No, it was so wild because literally all I had to do was get a haircut. I'm like, why didn't I do this?
Yeah.
But like, that goes into the lack of, no one ever told me Black people were getting haircuts like that. I didn't even know we had specialized haircuts until I learned about diva cuts. And that was a new thing. That wasn't even a thing before. They created black haircuts that were the most flattering. I'm like, wow. It wasn't even an option. Like, it wasn't a thing when I was growing up. So it's just
I mean, shout out to new discoveries and like learning more about your features. Because I think like advancements like that is what help people feel more comfortable.
No, absolutely. Even like they've had more black hair products, so there's such a wide range. And my mom was like, yeah, when I was growing up, we didn't have anything. Like, we didn't have anything to do our hair. And I'm like, y'all are at such a disadvantage. Because like, if you don't even have the products to make yourself feel your best, then
how are you going to feel your best?
You're not. You're simply not. And I just think I am happy that generations now are going to be growing up with the tools
like more resources.
Yeah, to enhance their current beauty. Like, even the unbrush, y'all, that thing is amazing. I wish I had that growing up. That brush is so good. If you know, you know. If you're on TikTok, it's just actually get the brush. Actually get the brush.
This is not a sponsor.
No, it's not sponsored. It's not sponsored. Like, any hair type, it works really well. But especially if you have, like, 3C, 4, like basically curly hair, y'all. It's amazing, and it works. It really does work. And I'm so like, I used it today. Okay, they should sponsor us. I want to be sponsored. Yeah. I want free brushes. But no, moving on. I think it's really interesting though, growing up as we're minorities, and one thing that I peeped from sort of maybe like middle school, high school, because that's when black features became more popular in mainstream media, especially because of the Kardashians.
Right, the whole 2010s era with like. Right?
I don't even think it was
2000s. Where?
No, I feel like early 2000s. It was like a lot of inspiration was taken off like the clothes black people were wearing. I saw that a lot because it was more like a hip hop essence. But I feel like black bodies weren't that popular until like
2010.
I feel like it was maybe 2013, 14. I don't know. I really feel like it was around the Kylie Jenner. I feel like it was around the Kylie Jenner lip kits. I feel like
it was 2016, 2015.
Yeah, maybe it was later then. Y'all, I don't really know when it happened, but I know it existed in high school. I just know from high school to like, I was in high school from the years of like 2017, 18 to 2021. It was around. It was a thing enough that I was, aware of it. And I remember I was like, wow, so this is what it feels like when your body is like liked in the media. It gave me more self-confidence in a really twisted way, because then everyone who didn't have that body top was probably not going to feel as great because, I don't see myself in the beauty standard. And it was so interesting though, because a lot of the women I would see with similar body types weren't black. And I'm like, wait a minute, why are y'all the face of this? If these aren't even like, you're getting body augmentations, which is fine, but it's so weird when they pick and choose traits.
Because it's like a trend, because aren't right now they're kind of like getting rid of those.
Oh no, absolutely. They're
like
kind of
dissolving it and reverting back.
Yeah, because it more of into whiteness. But I know for a hot second there, it was 100% people were getting like eyes to resemble like Asian people, and that was a thing. I don't feel like it didn't actually.
That was more 2020.
Yeah, I know.
Onwards, rather than 2010 onwards.
And I know that was so wild because they're like surgery, like y'all are, and I'm like, these trends will die out. Do you like this enough to keep it on you, or are you gonna reverse it? And then I feel like that's a lot. That's very taxing.
Yeah, and I feel like the only people who are chasing these is like rich people, because they're the only people who can afford it, right?
So here's the thing that I think is so interesting though. As more people, BBLs became more popular and more accessible, right? And more of like, I don't even know, like I guess regular people were getting BBLs, getting these crazy surgeries. And then I heard just someone doing some commentary on how the luxury, the exclusivity of getting these surgeries and having this body type is gone, and it's not as appealing anymore, because now women who are not rich and aren't in the media can, look like the Kardashians in a sense. And that I think is true. I think when it became more accessible, it was less like,
it was like, we have to jump on to the next trend,
right now. Like we all look the same. I don't like that.
Yeah, shoot. No, honestly, at the end of the day, it's like, how appealing can you be to the male gaze to move forward? No?
Yeah, I could kind of see that, because I think unfortunately men are at the top of the hierarchy. So the more appealing you are to men, sometimes I think it makes your life harder and easier though, because it's harassment and there's sexual advances that you don't want. But then of course, like, if most men, if they don't find you attractive, they don't even respect you. And I say respect loosely, because I don't think it's even like they respect attractive women.
Not even respect, it's more like
they want to be on their good side so they can potentially have relations with them. I think that's what it is. But it's less in your face disrespect. And I think that is so wild. I remember in middle school, I got bullied really bad for my looks. And guys, it was unnecessary. I shouldn't have been bullied for my looks. But I remember the guys would say to me, like, 7th grade, I'm 12, you have a nice face and an ugly body. And I'm like, we're 12. No. We're 12. I remember we would, like, y'all, PE, the girls would do.
So sorry.
No, like, PE, the girls would do jump rope, and they would look at our chest, and it was really uncomfortable. Mind you, I'm literally in 7th grade. I remember another circumstance. I used to call it Shrek face by this one kid. They called me ugly. Y'all, middle school was prime time bully time for me. It was so bad. And I think, unfortunately, you hear it enough, you kind of carry it. You carry it with you. And I went to high school, and thankfully I went to an all-girls high school, so I didn't have to deal with that. People, like, for the first time in a minute, were calling me pretty. And I was like, whoa, this is, like, such a 180, because literally a year ago, they were calling me, like, Shrek. I was like, this is so unserious to me. Yeah, definitely the people you're around. And it was mainly the guys. Like, the girls were bullies too, but I think the worst of it was the guys, because those are the ones who were insulting my looks. And I couldn't do anything to control that. Like, I was just growing into my body, trying my best to keep my head down. Like, I'm like, can you leave me alone?
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Girl, it was rough. I'm so happy
you did not deserve that at all.
I remember when I graduated 7th grade, I said, I'm never talking to these people again. Like, when I graduated 8th grade and, like, middle school, I said, I'm never talking to these people. I want no contact. And I don't follow any of them on anything. I don't talk to them. It's only one girl that I kept in contact with for a bit, because, like, we were friends. Like, we were genuinely friends. And that's it. And even we, like, fell off. Well, I wish her all the love, though. She was very nice. But,
of course.
yeah.
I mean, how did you essentially heal from that? Because right now you're a pretty girl through and through, but, like, did the external validation in high school help you build that?
Okay,
and,
I will say no.
Internal?
I'm actually realizing things. So going to an all-girls high school was very healing, because I think women are just more like, they give you compliments. Like, it was really nice for people to compliment how I looked, because I hadn't heard that in a very long time. I mean, by peers, because of course my family's giving me compliments, but it's different hearing it from those around you. And I know the one thing, though, I think when I hit, like, senior year, I started wanting, I don't even want to say it was male validation, but it was just, I wanted a guy to tell me I looked nice, right? And I didn't get that. I remember I had one guy say it to me, and I remember, like, I was hyper fixated because he had given me a compliment, and I'm like, it's really just because he was the first one to do it in a minute.
And also, you were bullied by guys in middle school.
Oh yeah, so, I was.
Like, of course, there's another, like, layer of.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, like, you know, if I get the validation, like, little old me, it's like, yeah, screw you.
Yeah, like, the little me is like, finally.
Yeah. Because I used to think, like, if I ever saw them again, they'd be so surprised by how I look. And I'm like, I look back at photos, and I'm like, I didn't look bad. Like, I didn't look bad back then. Yeah. And I in my head, I internalized, oh, I had this glow up and I look so much better. And it was really like, I learned, you know, I got a haircut. I learned how to do my hair better. And, I got my style better. But, like, that was stuff that kind of naturally happened. So, wild. Like, middle school boys are so mean. I think middle schoolers in general, I'm sorry, I don't really like middle schoolers because of that experience. I'm like, y'all are nasty.
No, you're valid for that. Girl, I'm, like, rethinking back about my middle school experience, but I was very slow to develop. And I tend to be in my own corner. Yeah, so
I think we had very different experiences.
So I never really noticed comments like that.
Yeah, because, I mean, they've been saying to my face. Like, there was no ignoring them. Oh, my goodness. I remember the worst times. We had done a video for class, and it was, like, it was fun. Like, we got to make this video, and it was, like, some type of PSA, and we were showing the videos in class. And I remember I had really bad anxiety because I got my hair braided, but I hated how it looked. And I was like, I have to go to school like this. Oh my goodness. So, anyway, we did the video. We presented. And I just remember one of the boys in the back started calling me ugly. And I just got up and I left. I went to the bathroom. I can't even be, I can't even enjoy anything because I feel like my looks are constantly being hyper fixated on. And I think it's really wild. Like, I never want to say people are straight up ugly, but I look better than him. And to me, when I look back on it, I'm like, he was like a dweeby little middle schooler. Yeah. Like, he wasn't like he was drop dead gorgeous. Not that gives you a right to like look down on others' looks, but I feel like I was just an easy target because I was new and I was super nice, and
also you did not blend in with the community that you were in, right? Because you
they were all black. No, they were all black. No, no, right. No. I'm gonna make it very clear. Middle school, they were all black. They used to call me Oreo. They used to say I was way lighter, even though we had lighter kids in the class or kids my complexion.
Shoot.
Yeah, no, like black kids. If y'all know, you know. I think a lot of black kids unfortunately experience othering by other black kids because they can just be really cruel, and I think there's
a lot of colorism in the black community.
Oh, there totally is, and it was so weird because I was picked on because I was lighter skin. I'm like, this is so stupid. I'm not the lightest one in this class.
They're always gonna cherry pick random.
Yeah, no, 100%. Oh my goodness, it was wild. Like I really pushed that down, y'all. I'm good now. Like I have solid friends. I'm in therapy, but when I think back to how like I was treated, it was so cruel. Like when I look, it's really mind-boggling when you look back at like photos or videos of yourself and you're like, I really was just a kid. Like there was no need for that. But I think some people unfortunately carry that and they don't shake it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't leave them. Like it stays with them because maybe people continue to say it, or it becomes a core belief. Like they can't believe that they aren't unattractive, or whatever someone has hyperfixated on isn't true. And I think that's the most unfortunate part about it.
Dang.
Yeah.
No, you ate that up.
Why, thank you.
Wow.
No, and okay, just speaking of like different things, when you felt, Asian features were being more, I guess, more attractive in the mainstream, did you feel like validated, or was it weird for you?
Of course I felt validated.
Yeah.
There's no way I would not feel validated from like, oh, I'm pretty. Yeah, I am the standard.
It's like people finally notice I'm pretty, or like, wow, it's my turn. It's so messed up. It's like I feel like minorities just take turns.
Yes, this is
like I truly feel like we just take turns, like, and they just have things they like about us, and then sometimes if you fit enough and you happen to be that race, like you may be. Do you feel like it's fetishization?
I believe it's fetishization.
I think yeah, because I remember one time in high school, the guy who like complimented me, he was a white guy, and I remember he's told me, I'm gonna be transparent. He was like, I like you, this and that, and I said, are you fetishizing me? I said that straight to his face because he only liked black girls. He went to a majority black high school, and I was like, I don't know if I'm just your type or you genuinely like. Y'all, I was so scared of being fetishized in high school. I don't know why. I think it's because it was prime time of like when black women were being fetishized, and I was terrified of it. And every time someone of like even like people of my own race, I felt if they really like certain aspects of my features, I'm like, okay, but is it just because I have lighter skin? Is it because I'm like I was always trying. You know what? Y'all, I'm realizing so many things to say. I really feel like I didn't believe guys when they were like, oh, I like you for this and that, because I was under the belief that it was probably my features that you liked because, the mainstream liked these features.
Girl, can I say that I related to that statement so much?
No, look, can we talk about that?
Yes,
can we talk about that?
Because let me be so for real. Asians are in like the limelight right now. We have K-pop and like anime and all that culture, like being pushed in the media. Obviously, it's not a recent thing. It has been going on for a couple of years now. But every time I talk to guys, I guess, or just people in general, I'm always like gauging how much or how obsessed of an anime fan they are.
Oh my goodness,
I move forward with that friendship or anything.
Absolutely.
Because I'm like, oh, you watch anime? Okay. And then I sit and observe to see how they talk about Asian culture and like how respectful they are with it. And
that's really good.
Like, so do you like me because I'm Asian?
No, and I'm being so for real. I feel like it's bad because I know one thing. More recently, I guess I've just been around more black guys, so that's kind of what I've been like drawn towards. And it's not really something that I thought about. Not that it doesn't happen, because black guys do it too, but you get a vibe. Like, you can kind of tell when someone's a colorist, or they really like something about you because you know you fit in a certain box that they don't. I don't know, like they, you know,
this
basically
idea that they have in their brain that you essentially
basically you fit into. So it's been nice to not have to worry about that. But I know in high school, man, it was rough. And then even like later on, I started feeling like, I wonder if people of like guys who are not black would even date me because I'm black. I started thinking about that as well, just because I know they would, but also there's a cultural thing. There's a lot of different aspects to it. And I'm like, am I, immediately being counted out because I'm black? But I think white girls definitely wouldn't, because they kind of like that. It's almost like if you date a white girl sometimes and you're of a different race, it's like you really did something, like, oh, look at you, man. Like, you really got her. And I think it's like because they're at the top. They're always at the top of the beauty standard. Yeah. So if someone of a different race is able to date them, like specifically like a man dates a woman, it's kind of this pride that other men look at them, or they have a respect towards them. It's messed up. I don't like that at all.
I remember, because I have been in Asian dominated spaces before, but a lot of my academic settings are, and where I am the majority of the time because I'm just in school, have not been very Asian dominated. So I've always been in different, like, I went to a Hispanic middle school, I went to a black high school, and I'm now in a black college, right? I'm not really surrounded by other Asian people, and I've always had this thing in my head, like, oh, like, I know Asians are currently fetishized, and I know the black community does fetishize Asian communities sometimes, and vice versa.
It is vice versa. It is so vice.
We all just fetishize each other.
They want Asian kids so bad.
So I'm aware of that, and every time I like just make new friends or whatnot, I'm just like, okay, Truk, be careful.
Wow, wait, even like friendships with like girls, you think about the same thing?
Well, I mean, when I first met you and I saw your anime thing, I was like, okay, let me think about it. And then you were very casual about it, so I'm chill.
Oh my goodness, no, actually.
Because that's not your personality.
No, it's not at all.
You have other interests. You look at other things. You have goals and values that we share that I'm like, okay, period.
And I think the funniest thing, actually, when I started, because I didn't watch anime until I was 18, y'all. Like, it was very late in the game. And I remember when I started watching it, I was like, I'm not really going to tell people I watch this because I don't want it to come across as, like, fetishization. No, because even, like, I'll occasionally, like, I'll listen to, like, even K-pop groups, and I'm like, I don't really advertise that because I just feel like it's a really, really thin line. Yeah. It can be a really thin line, because I even think how, some Asians really like black culture, and y'all, they be getting dreads. They be in everything.
I've seen those.
And I'm like, this is wild. I feel like I'm so conservative, not straight in life.
It's this and they're weird mix.
They're like, whatever, it's cool.
I'm not gonna police you for it, but like, I'm gonna
give you a mad side eye. Like, okay. Or like, remember like Asian people were getting perms all the time?
I do remember that.
Y'all, I mean, y'all looked cute with perms, but that was wild. That was really wild. I feel like
I can't say anything.
I feel like they're kind of still getting perms. I'm just.
Well, once again, like, every single community is kind of feeding into each other in some type of way, and it's like, because you don't have this, and this is currently being the trend, this is what I aspire to be, right? And it's like this whole,
or like they think
jumble.
It's cool. They think like other cultures are cool, and I like that you think my aspects of like my identity are cool, but I think it's just about having like respect and knowing where it comes from. And sometimes I feel like they kind of cosplay different cultures, and it's really weird to see. I've seen it, like, white people who are really into, like, it's usually they like anime, right? And it just goes from there.
That's where I take a step back, and I'm like, have
fun. My goodness. But all cultures all races are capable of doing this. I've seen like lots of different people do it. I just think minorities are sometimes more aware. I mean, not always, but sometimes they're like, okay, there's a line, and I don't necessarily want to cross it. But that's wild. Like, not you thought I was like a weeb.
Well, I didn't think you were a weeb. I was just sitting back and observing. That's it. I never made that conclusion.
Thank God, because I know when she found it, like, My Hero Academia, everything changed. I don't know. I don't care. I was like, I'm gonna own that, but I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
No, but I even look at people who like certain animes really weird, but it's more I think they're creepy because like there's certain animes that are really sexualized, like they really
Right.
sexualize women. And if I talk to a guy and he's like, oh, I like this character or I like this show, I'm automatically like, I don't even want to talk to you. Like we
Yeah.
like different types of anime.
Yeah.
Like we're different types of people.
Mhm. Yeah. But it's also just at the end of the day kind of like gauging
Yeah.
you know,
No, I get
how
that
they
though.
view certain
Because
traits.
I was like, I feel like you know you're watching for so much, but when I had a lot of white friends in high school, and I at times did feel like the token. I don't even know. I don't think they necessarily like that was their intention, but I did feel tokenized at times. And I haven't dealt with that now in college, thankfully. But that it's such a weird experience because sometimes they're not aware of it. They're not aware that you're kind of being othered in a group setting. It's just interesting. No, but
So yeah, that was a really interesting discussion.
that was
unplanned.
We kind of went off. It's okay. No, but I think as we're wrapping up for this week's episode, do you feel like we touched on all our points? You wanted to talk? Yeah, I think we touched on points. As we wrap up for this week's episode, do you have any like advice that you want to give people?
Like thoughts.
Like how did you start to, I guess, feel comfortable in your like features now, like who you are as a person? Are you comfortable, or do you feel like you're still kind of trying to find a place where you're like, I love how I look 100%? Because I feel like it varies. You know, also, I will say this one quick thing. Women's face changes like
over the years.
but no, not just
like everybody.
No,
does.
not just that though. Like it was something about like it's a term. It's a whole. I don't remember what this is, but like your face can actually be like more puffy on some days or slimmer on some days, and I thought it was so interesting. So they were like, so when I think I look better on some days, I actually could.
Isn't this related to our period cycle?
I think it is. I think that's what it was connected
there's,
to.
Like 4 different stages, and like each stage.
But y'all, that was wild. So if you feel like you look a little wild, it'll pass. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it'll pass, and you're not bugging on body dysphoria. Your face probably is a little different, and you're just noticing. But yes, on to you, True.
Yeah. How I developed like a healthier self-image, I guess, or how did I get into that? I don't really have any more negative self-thoughts about my physical self anymore. And I think that I can atone that to, I guess, learning about my features and then working with my features. For example, right, like with makeup, instead of following makeup tutorials from people that have zero shared features with me, I would actively look for, Asian representation.
Oh yeah, I found myself doing that. Yeah, I found myself doing that.
That's how you learn how to accentuate your own features and then glow from that.
I will say one thing that made me feel way more like, I guess, and try to, but also just like really happy with how I looked at my features was I would specifically look for Black women in certain, I guess if I wanted to resemble like a certain look, I would look up Black women doing it and owning it. And I was like, wow, like this is something I could actually kind of look like, because we share similar features and we had the same hair type, and it's really nice. I think just seeing more people who are minorities who are in like get to like kind of show off their skills and talents and like do their makeup or like do style videos, because it's not always going to be in the media, unfortunately, but it does exist online. You can find it online. So if you start to feel down about yourself, I like to just look up pretty Black women that I kind of feel better. Or like even go to like you have a photo you really like. I remember in high school I took my favorite photos of myself, and when I was feeling down I just look at them. And I'm like, nah, I'm good.
You're pretty.
Thank you. You too, girl. But yes, as we do our final wrap-ups, I'm going to do my song rec. Y'all, you already know Ariana's album dropped. It dropped, and it's so good. It's really good. Outside of her character, the songs eat. Cause I'm not gonna speak on that, but I will say
the songs eat.
One song I haven't really seen people talk about that I've been playing like on repeat is True Story. It's really like I've seen everyone. No. But I've been seeing everyone like talk about like This Boy Is Mine and like even a few other ones. But I'm like, if y'all haven't, I'm sure you have. But if you haven't checked out the entire album, listen to True Story. Like it's very catchy.
Girl, can I give a shout out for Imperfect? That was really cute.
It is.
That song.
Even like Oh, I think Supernatural as well.
Supernatural. Okay. What are your favorite songs in the album?
Literally, no. It's giving. We should have done a listening.
Yeah.
Like
a
live.
listening party. Yes.
No, but I'm still exploring. But honestly, it's a very solid album. Like I'm having a good time.
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
no skips.
Truly.
Except one,
Oh.
but I'm not gonna say that.
But yes, alrighty. But okay, we're really wrapping up
Yes.
now. We're really wrapping up. So I want to say shout out to Bobby.
Shout out to Bobby.
Shout out to the Humanities Department. And thank you so much for watching this week's episode.
But yeah, we'll see you next Thursday. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
I like this.